today's my story, and the question is: does your family have any history of particular illness, disease, genetic problems, or addiction that can be passed on from generation to generation? And my grandmother had Alzheimer's, and I watched it to the end. My father had the early stages of dementia. And even as a kid, I used to, because I see my grandmother as a kid, I don't know. I feel that my mental on what a kid was and what an adult was is different. So when I went down there, my grandfather asked me to come help him when my grandmother got Alzheimer's. So I watched it go all the way to the end. But I used to worry about it because I felt like that was my scariest way of dying, going out with Alzheimer's. But I heard Bill Cosby say one time, some old man told him, don't worry about getting Alzheimer's, because once you get it, you won't know it. So I keep that in mind too, you know what I mean? Like, I'll be on some other shit. My father said that my grandfather and him both had colon cancer. I know that my father, I think that he passed of colon cancer. I know that he had prostate cancer when I was younger, and he always had problems down there. It's in his butthole. He's an asshole, but it's a lot to deal with, you know what I mean? Because, worry about it, but, what can you do about it right now, but try to live healthy and be like, it's a lot, I say. Both of my parents were alcoholics. My father was a functioning alcoholic who was in denial, so he, drank every day. He called... he really liked Jim Beam. So a glass of Jim Beam would be called a smile. So he would like to get a smile. He would do it all the time. Even my sister, when he was at the last stage of his life, he was still drinking. I grew up on my parents loving margaritas. So even when I visit him, my pops told me that sometimes when he's driving, he's drunk, and the police would get behind him, he would just dip into someone's driveway and get out and walk to the door like he lived there. And this is when he's 80, you know what I mean, or 70, in his 70s. That was just something you know what I mean, he knew how it was. He knew to play the game. And I just thought really? You know what I mean? And it's so funny that it's only because once I got kicked out, I wasn't under them for a long time. I would come and visit and come back and forth and visit and stuff but I wasn't under them. So it's funny, being so far away from them and then becoming someone else and then coming back and listening to the things those things would be normal to me at one time. Just the way he's telling me too is normal. He wasn't telling me it was we were just kicking it. He was that when they get behind me, I'll just dip up into a driveway and get out and and go up the stairs like I'm walking. And honestly, that was me too. You know what I mean? That's why I think that's probably why he told me, because he already knows how I used to get down too. Or not that he knows, but he knows that, first of all, he knows I'm not going to judge, but also probably, I know something about that, you know what I mean? I used to do that shit too. And, yeah, so, I used to, party. I remember, soon, before I even became 21, there was a time when I had to move back into my parents. I was maybe 21, or 17, 18 for a little while. So I had to stay in. I came to stay there because I had a lot of things going on in my life. I had to return back. But before I even became 21, I had my room in there. But I had my own bar already. You know what I mean? I was making my own personal signature drinks. You know what I mean? I still think the drinks that I have, I want to put them out. But the drinks that I have are I think the Varna one of the best drinks ever made, you know what I mean? I still be trying to work on it, but whatever. And that was like not even like a big deal, you know what I mean? Like I went and got my mixologist license and learned how to like drink. That's just part of it. It's just part of growing up, you know what I'm saying? My grandma on one side is an orphan, so I don't know about all what goes into that, you know what I mean? I don't know, like the genetics to me, I think the biggest one to me is the Alzheimer's dementia, you know, and I think that just because I think that I'm a thinker person, I probably live more in here than I live out here with you guys, so it would be traumatizing to me to, first of all, like everything be not what I thought it was, and they constantly playing tricks on you, be trapped in your mind fucking with you all the time, period, on all of it, you know, schizophrenia. That I think that's why I work in mental health my whole life, because like that shit fascinates me, you know what I mean? And I also we had a guy who my family used to do respite, and we got the privilege. There was a guy in Alaska who's an African-American man who back in the 40s and 50s, he opened the first nightclub, and his name was Zelmer Lawrence. And as he got old, he had enough money that he didn't want to be in a home. He wanted to live with people. He wanted to make sure they were black people. So we got the privilege for him to come live at our house. And when he was old, he was just old. But then Alzheimer's crept in on him too. And man, he would be freaking out all the time, dog. You know? Scary, just scary to see him like go through all that. But he was like, he became part of our family, you know what I mean? If you know my family, like he used to be part of the family, and that was cool. He used to always tell me stuff like, I never been arrested, and I used to think like that was weird. Why does he keep saying that? But you know, a black man, you know, who's never been arrested is a big deal, you know what I mean? Even at his age. And imagine that, like in the 40s and 50s, he was still thinking about that, like a black man not being arrested, something to be like proud of, you know what I mean? So I thought that was like, and being a black man, I know that is that is something to be proud of.